Hi there, welcome to another Dave's Desk Bible Basics. We've reached the book of Chronicles, the third in the line of books that are now two but used to be one. And the book of Chronicles is slightly strange. So it's the third history book, but rather than being sort of the next chapter of history, it's the whole of the history that we've seen in Samuel and Kings, but told as a sermon rather than as a sort of a pure history. And it's written probably in the mid 400s BC to the people of God who are returning from exile. They've been taken into exile by the Babylonians. The Babylonians have got defeated by the Persians, and now the Persians were letting them return to Jerusalem. And the people have got some questions about their identity. There were three things that really defined them as a nation: the law from God, the land from God, and the king from God, specifically a king in that line from King David. And they didn't have a king from the line of David anymore. They weren't rulers of their own land. They were still part of the Persian Empire. And they weren't as familiar with the law as perhaps they should have been. We'll talk more about that in our next video. And so the book of Chronicles is written to help the people of God understand where they've come from, who they are in regards to their relationship with God. It's there to reassure them that they are still God's people, that they are a remnant, a faithful remnant of God's people, that the promises he made to David, maybe they can't see how they're working out right now, but they're still promises from God, so they're going to be answered one day. And it just made me think, as I was reflecting on this book, of that habit that we have of allowing our circumstances to define our understanding of who God is. That the people of God at this time they've been thrown out of the land, they've been in exile, and now they're coming back and they just don't know who they are anymore. They've stopped really trusting that God is looking after them. And the book is here saying, no, we were thrown out as God always said we'd be thrown out if we stopped following him. But actually he's still there. He still longs for us to turn to him. And so this book is about helping the people to understand that they are still God's people. And no matter what our circumstances, when we turn to God, we're still God's people. Amen. I hope that's given you something to think about and reflect upon. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.